to Gravity's Game 1 victory.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Freak, you said you wanted to take a look at picks and bans, so I feel like that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
How do you feel it played out?
I thought it was very interesting. I haven't seen the C9 comp much, so I'm going to reserve some of the judgment, but I thought it was pretty clever. They come out contesting a champion. They basically got a lot of good, strong early game champions, especially that Karma Tristana bottom lane, and then filled it in at the very end with the Amumu Rumble, which I thought made a really cool 5-on-5 comp. Karma can speed up Amumu. He can go in. He can set up the big Wombo. We saw the after the Baron fight. It play out properly, right? They pick off Keen right away. Diana helps make sure single targets. That's all cool and good for C9. That was kind of nice. I think it's a good comp. Gravity though, overall, like they picked really solid as well. They had a lot of good pick potential. The Ashe arrows into the Victor, another really solid team fight comp for them as well. And especially, you know, going onto that red side and getting that sort of late pick Victor, the one after seeing Diana. Keen did super well, and it was good to see him kind of return to form and have a very strong game. Most damage in the game, 24,000 on Victor, big factor.
Now let's take a look at that Amumu pick, because it did seem as though Move had a little bit more relevance in the early game, got a couple good ganks off early, helping the bot lane, and up in the top lane against Rumble.
Yeah, I would also say Hai did not have that good of a game on Amumu. One of the things that Move was able to do on Gragas is early game, it felt like he was everywhere. Like he got so many pressure-filled ganks off of, and then also early game was only down like 5 or 10 CS to Hai, so he didn't really fall behind. Additionally, I think that's one of the big reasons that Keen had so much success on Victor was because of the early game pressure that Gragas was able to apply, and it was actually still a very close game right before that turret take at the end, so it was a push-pull between both the comps.
One of the reasons why we don't see that much Momo play in professional plays is because you actually rely so much on your cooldown, your ultimate, when you hit 6. And Hai had one moment where he missed it in mid lane. He also had another moment where he missed it again in the mid lane. So you need a good setup to use it properly, where they actually use this Rumble and the Momo combo. Because whenever it's down, Gravity has a lot of freedom to just force towers, force fights, where they know they will win. So that is kind of the flaw of Amumu. I like the setup though, but they just didn't execute it.
Next, oh, do you have something? Or?
Yeah, I just thought it was really smart actually, as you mentioned, Gravity taking fights they could win. Gravity were very slow to group up, and I think intelligently so. You know, they stayed in lanes for a very long time. They played for a lot of these 2-on-2, 3-on-2 fights, playing around Ashe arrows, things like that. They would take Dragon when people were dead, but anytime we saw an open field fight, it became a lot closer of a battle. There's the mid lane fight where they grouped up 5-on-5, and Sneaky cleaned up the Baron fight again where the Amumu got a pick off, and so Gravity choosing to usually hide from 5-on-5, I think it was very smart of them to play around the enemy composition, and that was good.
One point about the Ashe is that we have seen more Ashe lately, and one of the things people countered with is taking cleanse on AD carry, taking cleanse on mid lane. And when we see C9 lock in Diana, we know most players recently take it with the TP. And on the other hand, Sneaky didn't have cleanse. So I would have liked to see cleanse on maybe Tristana. I don't think it would be possible in the mid lane, but at least on Tristana to like prevent some of the picks we saw in the last fight where Gravity won. They actually lost because Sneaky got caught by the arrow. Which is, I think, very, very concerning that they didn't pick up the cleanse.
Cloud9 on your screen right now probably discussing what they're going to have to change going into Game 2. I do kind of want to return to your point, Freak, about how slow the earlier portions of the game played out. We saw the gold lead, or lack of gold lead, kind of hold even for quite some time. And it points to the statistic that we saw pop up in the middle of the game, in that Cloud9 had trended towards having gold leads at 10 and 20 minutes, whereas Gravity gold deficits.
Absolutely.
This time around, though, 20 minutes came, Gravity had that lead. So how does Cloud9 get back to that?
More early game pressure, honestly, when they allowed the Gragas onto the side of Gravity and picked the Amumu themselves, they're kind of opting into having a lower pressure style. Also the fact that they didn't have cleanse on Sneaky, as Trashy pointed out. A lot of times when we've seen Ashe, it's actually been in blind pick games in Korea where you don't know the Ashe is coming, so you don't bring cleanse. I do kind of feel like it's a little bit inexcusable not to bring cleanse against Braum Ashe, where the only way they kill you is by chain stunning.
Yeah. And you know where they could have used the cleanse?
At the end of the game.
At the end of the game. So let's pull up that clip, 34 minutes into the game, in the top lane. Jat, you can continue your point here.
Right. This is the defining moment of the game, because prior to this, it actually did seem like Cloud9 was going to be able to come back. The gold lead was only about 2,000 for Gravity. We'd just seen Cloud9 kill both the main damage dealers for Gravity in the Baron Pit, and then Gravity was just grouping up for a siege right here. And honestly, Sneaky's in the front line because, let's be fair, they don't have a true tank, so they're always vulnerable to these picks. They land one Ash Arrow. It completely destroys him. You could see High was actually going for the initiation, so Cloud9 was calling that they were going to make a fight, which is probably why Sneaky was up there. But once again, it's so risky without the cleanse. As soon as they get the kill onto the one damage dealer, High calls off his flank, and they just get ran down. And honestly, credit to Gravity for making the call at this point to end the game.
Yeah, this one to actually close the game out is really, really clutch here. I mean, okay, 5v2, it's not hard. 25 seconds, you have enough time to go over this turret, and you feel safe about it. This fight honestly feels fairly safe for Gravity to take. I think C9's trying to buy enough time they can clear the wave, which they do here, and then hope that the rest of the team respawns or someone gets away. But Hans makes a really good dive to make sure the Mumu goes down. They re-get the ace, but then you're like, okay, we have no minions left. We're taking damage here, and the next two guys are spawning, and Rumble's up at 8 seconds too. This becomes a very tough call to go for. If you screw up, you give up a lot of the map again.
They made sure the minion wave was clear so they get the reduced armor on the turret to near the end of the game. Also, whenever someone was taking a turret during that dive, it was either Bunny, Fufu, or Move, the people that don't need to be alive to kill the turrets. So it was well executed, and they really kept a measured head considering it was a back and forth game. And a failed dive there where they get counter-aced could have cost them the game.
Yeah. It opens up a lot more of the map. I think you can't quite end the game on like 32-minute death timers, but you certainly get a lot of it back. And when you're that close to winning the game, it's definitely not a giveaway. I do want to quickly touch on your cleanse point on Tristana, because you're right that it's just a much more risk-averse style, and like it'll make sure if an arrow hits. Generally speaking, these guys are playing on like 8 ping, and they're all like 700 range Ash arrows. Like even the one that hit there to close the game out, you saw Tristana run backwards. Like he moved his mouse, clicked behind him, and said, "Oh, I should run away from Ash." He just didn't like hit W. Like he actually like mechanically misplayed, which is very rare for Sneaky. I feel like he's a good enough player to just like rocket jump or flash his abilities, and in almost every single case failed to dodge, which to me is very unlike him. And you obviously saw it play out as well. Lack of cleanse got him killed, but I feel like he should have been fine.
All right, well, with that win, Gravity grab the first win to heat up the series. We'll be right back with Game 2 between Cloud9 and Gravity in just a few minutes.
What if I did that? I brought like a lawn chair to LCS. Just put it down behind you guys for when we did Pix fans.
That'd be sick, dude.
We all carry in a sofa. That'd be dope.
I'm not gonna get to tell this story. Oh, ball's going deep. Oh, another shot. Oh, one more shot. He goes down, unfortunately. Gets the Q out the last auto. Minion. Oh, it doesn't matter if he knocked him away that time. Balls goes in now. Sneaky, can he get the auto attacks off? A few more crits from him. That's the hit, the reset. Can he jump forward?
Victor. Okay,
Yeah, we got it.
Up. We're going up. Nice, keep pushing up.
Nice, go.
Tower first.
Mumu can't fight. Mumu can't fight.
Rumble.
End the game. Mumu no flash. Perseverance pays off for Gravity. Not much Cloud9 could do as Gravity comes up with game 1.